So are you also still writing blog posts manually? Then this video is definitely for you. So hello all, welcome back to Pabbly Connect, and in this video we are going to understand how to automatically schedule blog posts using an AI agent. So over here I also used to manually write all of my blog posts, but this is such a time consuming and a tedious task. So to solve this problem, I've simply created an amazing automation like this, where what is going to happen is that as soon as I add the blog details into my Google Sheets, automatically my AI agent is going to generate me the blog, and further we can post that blog on our WordPress account. So to do this, we are simply going to create a connection between Google Sheets, my AI agent, which is OpenAI, and then WordPress. And to create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So if you also want to create this amazing automation, then for that you have to come with me towards my screen. Welcome to my screen. So in this video I'll show you how to automatically schedule blog posts using an AI agent. So instead of manually setting up each post for a specific time, our AI agent is going to help you schedule your content for your audience. By automating this task, you can maintain a consistent posting schedule without worrying about the timing, ensuring your blog post remains fresh and engaging. So let's get started with a really simple example. Let's say that I'm just going to enter the topic, the keywords, and the target audience right over here. And once I'm just going to enter all of these three details in my spreadsheet, automatically my AI agent is going to publish a blog with the help of these details on my WordPress account. So I'm simply going to open my WordPress account and we're going to refresh this post page in order to check for the new post published. Alright, so I'm simply going to refresh it, and over here you can see that right now a new post has been published. Within seconds, in real time, a new post has been published with the help of the same details which we entered right over here in my spreadsheet. This is no magic, this is the power of automation which we are going to create in today's video. And if you also want to create this amazing automation, then for that you have to stick to this video till the end. And to create this amazing automation, we have to open the landing page of Pabbly Connect. And in order to open the landing page of Pabbly Connect, we're simply going to open a new tab and search for pabbly.com/connect in our browser. So I'm simply going to search for pabbly.com/connect in my browser, and now it is opening the landing page of Pabbly Connect. And after opening the landing page of Pabbly Connect, we are going to get two options. One is sign in and the another one is sign up for free. So if you are a new user, you can click on this sign up for free, and you are going to get 100 of stars free every month to explore the application. But over here I am an existing user, so I'm simply going to click on this sign in, and as soon as we're going to click on this sign in, it is opening all Pabbly apps. And over here you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly. But in today's video we are going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting different applications. So I'm simply going to click on this access now right over here to access my Pabbly Connect account. And now it is opening my dashboard, and to start with this automation, we simply have to click on this button which says create workflow. And now it is asking me for the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So over here on my dashboard you can see multiple folders which I have already created in which I save my workflows. So if you also want to create a new folder, you can go towards this create new folder button and create your own. I have created multiple folders, so I'm just going to save my workflow in one of these folders, which is automations. And now I'm just going to name my workflow as how to automatically schedule blog posts using an AI agent. And now we are going to simply click on this button which says create. And now it is opening the most important window of our automation, which is our workflow window. So this is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger and actions are the two main principles on which our workflow is going to run. Trigger means when this happens, and action means do this. So by this you can understand that the actions are response towards the commands given by a trigger, and that's the particular reason that we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of our trigger in a particular workflow. And to get started, we are simply going to select our trigger application. So for my trigger application, I'm simply going to select it as Google Sheets right right over here, and as you can see the same, so we are simply going to select it. And now for the trigger event, I'm simply going to select it as new or updated spreadsheet row. And now it is giving me a webhook URL, so we are going to simply use this webhook URL in order to create a connection between our Google Sheets and our Pabbly Connect's workflow. So what we're going to do is I'm simply going to copy this webhook URL, and then we have to follow this help text. All right, so I'm simply going to open my Google Sheets, and after opening my Google Sheets, what we have to do is we have to go towards this extensions, add-ons, and then get add-ons. And after coming over here towards this get add-ons, we have to add an extension in this spreadsheet, which is Pabbly Connect Webhooks. So I'm simply going to search for Pabbly Connect Webhooks and select it. And after selecting this over here, you can see that I have already installed this extension, which is Pabbly Connect Webhooks. If you wish, you can definitely install this extension right over here. I have already installed this, so it is giving me the option of uninstall, but you can install it right from here. And after installing this extension, you simply have to refresh your spreadsheet. It is a really important step to refresh your spreadsheet, otherwise not be able to get the Pabbly Connect Webhooks option right over here in your extension tab. And after getting this Pabbly Connect Webhooks option, we have to go towards this button which says initial setup. And after coming over here towards this initial setup, it is asking me to select the sheet, enter the webhook URL and the trigger column. So over here for the sheet, we are simply going to select it as sheet 1. We don't have to select it right over here. Automatically, whichever sheet in which you are going to select the extensions, Pabbly Connect Webhooks and initial setup, that sheet would be selected right over here automatically. Now for the webhook URL, we are simply going to paste the URL which we copied from our workflow, and now we have to enter the trigger column. So the trigger column will be your final data column, on which if the data is added, the whole of that row will be sent towards your webhook URL. So for me, the trigger column is C, so I'm simply going to enter C right over here. Alright, so you have to enter your trigger column according to your spreadsheet. Over here, I want that as soon as I add the topic, the keywords and the target audience, then this workflow should get triggered. So I've entered it as C. Now we are simply going to click on this button which says submit, and with this we have successfully created a connection between our Google Sheets and our Pabbly Connect's workflow. But now it is saying waiting for a webhook response, and in the notes it is saying do a test submission / record. So in order to capture this webhook response, we have to do a test submission or record. So what we're going to do is I'm simply going to open my spreadsheet, and over here we're going to do the test submission. But before doing the test submission, I'm simply going to go towards this extensions, Pabbly Connect Webhooks, and over here we have to switch on this button which is send on event. It is a really important step to switch on this button which is send on event, because upon switching on this button, what is going to happen is that whenever a new event is going to occur right over here in this spreadsheet, automatically this workflow is going to get triggered. Alright, so after switching on this button, we are going to do the test submission. I'm simply going to enter all of these details one by one right over here. Alright, so I'm simply going to enter the topic right over here, and then we're going to simply enter the keywords too right over here. And after entering both of this, I'm simply going to enter the target audience. And yes, you can see that with this I've successfully entered all of these details, and with this we have successfully did the test submission. And now spreadsheet has sent the details of a test submission to our workflow, and yes, over here you can see that Pabbly has captured the response for the same. You can see the target audience, the topic and the keywords right over here. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our trigger step, and now what is going to happen is that whenever we are going to add a new row right over here in our spreadsheet, automatically this workflow is going to get triggered. Now what I want is I want to schedule blog posts using an AI agent. So for my action event, I'm simply going to select it as my AI agent, which is OpenAI. So I'm simply going to search for OpenAI and select it right over here. And now for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as ChatGPT structured AI output. So further in this video, I'm just going to let you know why I selected structured AI output. All right, and then we're simply going to click on this connect, and now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your OpenAI account with your Pabbly Connect's workflow, you can simply click on this select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection, and now it is asking me for the token. And to get this token, we are simply going to follow the help text, and it is saying OpenAI uses API key for authentication. Kindly visit your OpenAI OpenAI API key page to get the API key that you need to enter here. Alright, so I'm simply going to go towards this OpenAI API key page to get the API key. And now we have to click on this create new secret key button and we have to name our key. Let's say that I'm just going to name my key as blog post right over here. And then we're going to select the project and click on this create secret key button to create our key. And now over here I've successfully created my key, so I'm simply going to copy this key and then we're going to paste it right over here in our workflow. And after pasting this key, we are simply going to click on this button which says save. And after clicking on this save, it is asking me to select the AI model. So over here, you can select any AI model according to your choice. I'm just going to select it as GPT-4o Mini. Now it is asking me for the roles. So over here, you have to select the role in which you want the AI agent to respond. If you want it to respond as a user, you can select user. If you want it to respond as a system, you can select system. And if you want to generate a layered prompt, then you can go towards this mapping button, switch on this mapping button and enter the comma separated values right over here so that it can respond as user, as system and as assistant, all three together. But over here I only wanted to respond as a user, so I'm simply going to select it as user only. Now it is asking me for the content user because I selected user right over here in my roles. If I would have selected system, it is going to ask me for contact system. Alright, so over here for the contact user, I'm simply going to enter my prompt which I want to give to my AI agent. And yes, over here you can see that I've successfully entered my prompt, which is generate a blog post based on the provided topic, keywords and target audience. Alright, so I'm simply going to provide these details right over here. So I'm simply going to enter the details right over here, but we're not going to enter it manually like this, but instead we're going to map it. So you must be wondering what is mapping. So mapping is a method by Pabbly which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, our previous step was the trigger step where we selected Google Sheets as our trigger application. So we are simply going to map the details from the response of a trigger application only, and as soon as we're going to map these details automatically, my details will turn dynamic and change with every new response received. Alright, so I'm simply going to map the topic right over here, then we are simply going to map the keyword too. I'm just going to look for keyword and map it, then we're going to map the target audience. So I'm just going to look for target audience and map it. And after mapping all of these details, we're going to move on further. And now it is asking me for the response format. So this is the reason why we selected structured AI output right over here, because what I want is I want to generate the blog title and the blog content both. I don't only want to generate the content, right? I want to generate both of these details, which is the title and the content. So instead of getting both of them in the same field by selecting ChatGPT as action event, I selected my action event as ChatGPT structured AI output so that I can get both of these in different fields and we can map it further. Alright, so to do this, I'm simply going to copy this example right from below. You don't have to think much. You simply have to copy and paste it right over here and erase this your JSON schema. So over here we have to enter our JSON schema. But don't worry, you don't need any programming or coding language to generate this JSON schema. We are simply going to open a URL right over here, which is this platform.openai.com/docs/guides/structured outputs. So you're going to get this URL in the description box below. You can simply open that URL right from here. And after opening this URL, you have to click on this generate button. And now we are going to generate the JSON schema with the help of our AI agent only. So it is saying describe how do you want the model to respond. So over here what I want is I want to get the blog title and the blog content. So I'm just going to enter the same. First I want to get the blog title. So I'm just going to enter blog title. Then I want to enter the format of this blog title. So it is type of a text. So I'm just going to enter type of text right over here. And now I'm just going to enter the description, which is the blog title. Give me the blog title. So I'm just going to enter give me the blog title right over here. And now after entering this description, we are going to move on forward. I'm just going to go towards a new line. And now what I want is I want the blog content. So I'm just going to enter blog content right over here. And now after entering this blog content right over here, what is the format of this blog content? Once again, it is a type of text. So I'm simply going to enter type of text right over here. Now we're going to move on further and enter the description for the same, which is give me the blog content. Over here I'm just going to enter it, and after simply entering this both, I'm simply going to click on this button which says create, and now automatically my AI agent is going to generate me the JSON schema. And over here you can see that it has successfully generated me the JSON schema, so we don't have to do anything. We are simply going to copy this JSON schema right from here and paste it right over here here in our workflow. And now with this, we have successfully completed this response format and we can move on further. Now it is asking me for many another details. So all of these details are not the required details. So you can leave it as blank to right over here. If you wish, you can definitely check out these details and fill in these details right over here. All right. But these are not the required details. So I'm just going to leave it as blank and click on this blue button which says save and send test request. And as soon as we're going to click on the save and send test request button right over here, automatically my AI agent is going to generate me the blog title and the blog content based on the details which we entered in a prompt and the response format. And yes, over here you can see my AI agent has generated me the blog title and the blog content. So yes, with this we have successfully completed this AI agent action step. And after generating these details, what we're going to do is I'm simply going to create a WordPress post using these details. For that, I'm just going to add another action step right over here. And now for the action application, I'm simply going to select it as WordPress. And after selecting the action application for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as create a post and click on this connect. And now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your WordPress account with your Pabbly Connect's workflow, you can simply click on this select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection. And now we are simply going to enter the WordPress credentials right over here. I'm simply going to enter the email or the username right over here. And then we're going to move on forward and enter the rest of the details, which is the password. And now for the base URL, what we're going to do is it is saying please provide your complete publicly accessible WordPress URL including this. All right, we just have to include /vp admin or vp login.php. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to open my WordPress account, and over here I'm just going to copy this URL whichever we have and paste it right over here. And we only have to enter this URL till this. So I'm simply going to erase all of the details which are not required. So this is my base URL. So I've simply entered the same. You have to enter your base URL. Over here you can see in the example, you have to exclude all of this login or vp admin. All right. And after entering this base URL, we are simply going to click on this button which says save. And with this, we have successfully connected our WordPress account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And after connecting this, now it is asking me for the post type. So I'm simply going to select it as post only right over here. Now it is asking me for the post title. So I'm simply going to map the title which my AI agent generated. Now I'm simply going to map the post content to which my AI agent generated. Now we're going to move in forward, exclude these details which are not required. For the status, I'm just going to keep it as publish. If you wish, you can definitely schedule it for future. So you can select future right over here. If you wish, you can definitely draft too. But I'm just going to go towards this publish. We're going to move on forward. It is asking me for many another details which are not required. I'm just going to leave it as blank. And now it is asking me for the featured media ID. So over here it is asking me to add an image or a media. So no, I don't want to add this. So I'm simply going to switch on this mapping button and erase this media ID right from here. Now we're going to move on further. It is asking me for many another details. So all of these details are not the required details. So I'm simply going to leave it as blank and click on this blue button which says save and send test request. And with this, we have successfully received a positive response that we have successfully created a blog in our WordPress account. So I'm simply going to open my WordPress account and check for the new post posted. So I'm just going to open my WordPress account and we're going to go towards the dashboard of my WordPress account. And after coming over here towards the dashboard, we have to go towards this post and then all post section from the left side of the bar. And now you can see a new post has been posted. So I'm simply going to go towards this view. And yes, you can see with the help of the same details, we have successfully posted a new post, or you can say blog, on our WordPress account. That too without any manual efforts. Now with this, we have successfully completed our workflow. And now what is going to happen is, like I showed you in the starting of this video, whenever I'm just going to enter the topic, keyword and target audience, within seconds in real time, a new post would be posted on my WordPress account. That too without any manual efforts. All of this is going to happen in backend. We don't have to come back and again to our workflow to click on save and send test request. As soon as I'm just going to enter the details, automatically Pabbly is going to trigger this workflow. My AI agent is going to generate me the title and the blog content, and further we can post it on our WordPress account. So you also go and try this amazing automation for your own business. And if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. And for your reference, I'll just clone this workflow and share the workflow link in the description box below so that you can access my workflow. I hope this video was helpful for you. Thank you for watching, everyone. So not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly Connect, you can integrate many more applications. So if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this website. And if you find our videos helpful, do like and subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching.